Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, rule web, and the great example to the younger brothers in the truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and Lord willing is edifying. And this from another video I said I was gonna do after that one video. With the one off the woman page, Stop the Crime .net, Deborah Tavares. It say mirror leaked military internment camps in U.S. to be used by the United Nations, the UN. You know, not the U.S., the UN. But let's play it. Oh, let me make sure. So like it.
The official U.S. military documents we are about to see were highly classified until 2013 when they were leaked to the public. In fact, if you look at the bottom of the cover page, you'll see just how secret this document was intended to be. Destruction notice. Destroy by any method that will prevent disclosure of content or reconstruction of the document. By this statement alone, it's obvious that we were never supposed to see what's inside. And that being said, let's take a look inside and see what we can find. Now, this document is 326 pages long, and we definitely don't have time to look at every single page. So I'll just go over some of the most relevant content. Feel free to read this document for yourself. There's a link to the full document in the description below. Alright, so keep in mind that this document was not just written for overseas operations. It clearly outlines internment operations on U.S. soil and with U.S. citizens. On page 38, quote, support to civil support operations. Civil support is the DoD support to U.S. civil authorities for domestic emergencies and for designated law enforcement and other activities. Civil support includes operations that address the consequences of natural or man-made disasters, accidents, terrorist attacks, and incidents in the U.S. and its territories. The internment relocation tasks performed in support of civil support operations are similar to those during combat operations, but the techniques and procedures are modified based on the special OE associated with operating within U.S. territory and according to the categories of individuals, primarily DCs. In this document, DC stands for Dislocated Civilian, to be housed in internment relocation facilities. During long-term internment relocation operations, state and federal agencies will operate within and around internment relocation facilities within the scope of their capabilities and identified role. Military police commanders must closely coordinate and synchronize their efforts with them, especially in cases where civil authority and capabilities have broken down or been destroyed. Not only that, on page 146, it details the identification procedures of new prisoners, and that includes taking their social security numbers. Quote, Identification 716. Individual identification photographs are taken of all prisoners. The prisoner's last name, first name, and middle initial are placed on the first line of a name board, and the prisoner's social security number is placed on the second line. A prisoner registration number may be added on the third line. 2 front and 2 profile pictures are taken of the prisoner. Fingerprints are obtained according to AR 190-47. Now that we've established that these operations were not only designed for overseas, but also designed for U.S. citizens on U.S. soil, would it surprise you to see that the United Nations is also involved in this? Page 23. Agencies concerned with internment and resettlement. External government involvement in IR missions, and IR means internment and resettlement, is a fact of life for military police organizations. Some government and government-sponsored entities that may be involved in IR missions include international agencies, the United Nations, International Committee of the Red Cross, International Organization of Migration, U.S. agencies, local U.S. Embassy, Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, otherwise known as FEMA. It goes into more detail about the United Nations in Chapter 1.
There you go, FEMA.
47. The UN is involved in the entire spectrum of humanitarian assistance operations, from suffering prevention to relief operations. Typically, UN relief agencies establish independent networks to execute their humanitarian relief operations. The UN system delegates as much as possible to the agency's elements located in the field. Supervisory and support networks are traced from those field officers back to UN headquarters. Military planners must familiarize themselves with UN objectives so that these UN objectives are considered in planning and executing military operations. So basically, the UN is there every step of the way, and these camps must be formulated around UN policies, according to this document. Now, let's go to page 56, where it goes into detail about psychological operations, or
Now the apostles been telling us about UN for the longest, man. How those UN troops gonna come, the elder brothers, up and coming elders, the elders, the apostles and the elders and the up and coming elders been telling us about concentration camps for the longest, man. You know. But let's go into this part, and then we're gonna go to the red list, yellow list, blue list. This just go to show that it's real. And I put that in red list, yellow list, blue list in a while back, and it came up on Wikipedia or something like that. But now it's just popping up some different websites, but we still gonna go to it and say the same thing.
PSYOPs. The supporting IR PSYOP team has two missions that reduce the need to divert military police assets to maintain security in the IR facility. So basically, psychological operations are deployed in order to manipulate their detainees and make them more passive. And it goes into more detail. Quote, the PSYOP team develops PSYOP products that are designed to pacify and acclimate detainees or DCs to accept U.S. IR facility authority and regulations. PSYOP teams gain the cooperation of detainees or DCs to reduce the number of guards needed, identifies malcontents, trained agitators, and political leaders within the facility who may try to organize resistance or create disturbances, develops and executes indoctrination programs to reduce or remove antagonistic attitudes. Did you catch that?
That go into the red list, yellow list, blue list.
Develops and executes indoctrination programs to reduce or remove antagonistic attitudes, otherwise known as brainwashing. Now, let's move on to page 84, where it talks about medical support. And this is where it starts to get a little scary if you take into account the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Quote, medical personnel are required to identify, treat, and document existing medical conditions and injuries of detainees. Commanders must considering the following when establishing medical care at the internment facility. A credentialed healthcare professional examines detainees monthly and records their weight on a DA Form 2664-R. The detainee reporting system requires weight data from medical community. The general health of detainees, their nutrition and cleanliness are monitored during inspections. The detainees are examined for contagious diseases, especially tuberculosis, lice, louse-borne diseases, human immunodeficiency virus, which is HIV, and STDs. Now, COVID-19 would definitely fall into this category. It goes on to say, quote, all medical treatment facilities must provide immunizations for and isolation of detainees with communicable diseases. Again, COVID-19 falls into this category. So basically what they're saying here is these facilities can be turned into a military quarantine with forced immunizations. Let's continue reading. Detainees who require a high level of care are transferred to military or civilian medical installations where the required treatment is available. Military police escort detainees to medical treatment facilities and remain with them until medical examinations are complete. So if you're really sick, they might send you to a hospital. However, you will have military police escorting you there and back. Alright, let's continue on. On page 115, it describes the serial number given to each detainee. Quote, internment serial numbers. The ISN, or internment serial number, is the DoD mandated identification number used to account for and track detainees. Once an ISN is assigned, it is used on all documentation, including medical records. The ISN is generated by the Detainee Reporting System. The Detainee Reporting System is the only approved system for maintaining detainee accountability. It is the central data point system used for reporting to the national level and sharing detainee information with other authorized agencies. Here is a nice diagram showing what the ISN is comprised of. Now, some people might say that these camps are friendly in nature and will be used as some sort of humanitarian camp to help people in need. Well, if it's a humanitarian camp, why would they need to use deadly force on people who try to escape? Page 238, quote, Level 5, Deadly Force, used as a last resort when all lesser means have failed or would be impractical. Used to prevent death or serious injury to self or others, to prevent the theft, damage, or destruction of resources vital to national security or dangerous to other, or, and here's the big one, to terminate an active escape attempt. So basically, deadly force is authorized to stop an escape attempt. That's everything we need to know right there. They also go into detail about how these camps should be laid out. There's many diagrams in this document, and we're going to take a look at this one right here. This diagram shows 3 rows of barbed wire fence, 25 guard towers, and a quick reaction force. Now, it should be obvious to anybody watching this that these camps are not humanitarian relief centers, but rather prisons. Prisons meant for large populations of US citizens. And this video just scratched the surface of this nearly 400-page document. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts on this document? Please leave a comment below and tell us what you think. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that like button. And until next time, thank you all for watching, and God bless you all.
Dispute this, but we're not going to argue.
There's
Connect the
another
dots.
video the brother from South Carolina put up. And what's his name? GMS Murder Beach, his page name. You won, the brother you won. But let's play this. You know, cause we in the time, man, where these FEMA camps are finna be put into play. You know, hey, they ain't got all these FEMA camps and things set up for no reason, man. It's for a reason, man. You know, let me get this Jeremiah 30 and verse 4 and say, and these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus said of Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, man. So we coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. That's why they got concentration camps and stuff, man. And order how many 50,000 guillotines or 30,000 guillotines. They ain't order these things for no reason, man. They got this stuff to use it, man. You know. And they gonna make war with the saints, man. You know, they gonna come for us all, man. And they gonna be trying to chip people and all that, man. You know, that's gonna be the main thing they gonna be doing, killing people off and chipping people, man. You know, trying to force them to go with the new world order. But let's play this, going into the executive orders and stuff that's been put out, man, by your beloved Obama and all these other presidents you Americans love so much, man.
For anybody who has ears to hear. Some people are going to want to dispute this, but we're not going to argue with anyone. This is what's going on. There is no Q, there is no anonymous that has any information about this government or anything else that's going on. They have been leading you down a path of lies, all to hide the truth. And here's what's really going on. FEMA has more power than the President of the United States or the Congress. It has the power to suspend laws, move entire populations, arrest and detain citizens without a warrant, and hold them without trial. It can seize property.
Man, it's gonna arrest and detain cities. They gonna take your ass to a FEMA camp somewhere, man. You know. I got another little I guess you can call it an article, but it ain't an article. Going into the red list, yellow list, blue list, and they got a picture of where all the FEMA camps located at, man. But let's keep going.
Property, food supplies, transportation systems, and can suspend the Constitution. When a state of emergency is declared, Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, and the flow of money in the U.S. financial institution in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review this action for 6 months. Now, with the understanding that after Trump signed the National Emergency Declaration, FEMA took over. Now, this is March 13th, 2020. Listen to what he's going to say now. This is right after he signed the National Emergency into effect.
It is only the beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're in a different phase.
This is only the beginning of what we're really doing, because what they're really doing is putting everything in place to start the New World Order.
Now we're in a different phase.
The different phase that he's speaking of is that he is no longer president, and he has given full power over to FEMA when he signed the National Emergency Declaration.
We had some very old and obsolete rules. Those
old and obsolete rules are also known as the Constitution of the United States.
That we had to live with. It worked under certain circumstances, but not under mass circumstances. Under mass circumstances is being under FEMA rule. They were there for a long time. They were in place for a long time, and we're breaking them down now.
They're definitely breaking them down because the Constitution is suspended.
And they're very usable for certain instances, but not for this.
Because they can't go forward with their plan with the Constitution, our constitutional rights, still intact.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
So he is officially telling us in a coded message that we are now under the rule of FEMA, no longer having a president. Fast forward to March 19th, 2020, in the FEMA National Response Coordination Center.
Well, Mr. President, Vice President, thank you for being here. Really appreciate your visit to FEMA. I think your visit really, as you indicated last week, by signing the national emergency, has really empowered FEMA.
And he just made the declaration that FEMA is empowered, has really empowered FEMA. Fast forward to April 10th, 2020, in plain words, it's been my great honor to have been their president. Past tense.
The American people have been so disciplined. It's been my honor to be their president. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it always. It's been my great honor to have been their president, and it's been my great honor to have been their president. I have a big decision coming up, and I only hope to God that it's the right decision. But it'll be based on the input from a lot of very talented people, very smart people, and people that love our country. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
He actually will not be making any more decisions. This group of people that he says will be helping him make decisions are the ones that are making decisions now, because it is FEMA that is making the decisions. And as you can hear in this live briefing, Trump obviously does not know what's going on, because he said, you should have let us know, when Mike Pompeo said, we're in a live exercise.
Pompeo says this is a live exercise. And what you'll hear in the background is Donald.
Live exercise going into the COVID-19 and the lockdowns and all that stuff. The first lockdown, that was the live exercise.
Donald Trump say, you should have let us know.
This is not about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We need to make sure that we're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
Does he sound like a man that's in control of anything anymore? He just looks like he has just lost his best friend in all of these videos that we're seeing now ever since he signed the National Emergency Declaration. I'm sure most of us thought that FEMA was created to help people in disasters. But here's the truth about FEMA. FEMA was created in a series of executive orders. A presidential executive order, whether constitutional or not, becomes law simply by its publication in the Federal Registry. Congress is bypassed. Executive Order 12148 created the Federal Emergency Management Agency, that is to interface with the Department of Defense for civil defense planning and funding. An emergency czar was appointed. Executive Order 12656 appointed the National Security Council as the principal body that should consider emergency powers. This allows the government to increase domestic intelligence and surveillance of U.S. citizens and would restrict the freedom of movement within the United States and grant the government the right to isolate large groups of civilians. That's where we're at right now, people. We are all being told what to do, where we can and can't go. The National Guard could be federalized to seal all borders and take control of U.S. airspace and all ports of entry. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize and control the communications media. Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms. Executive Order 11000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. That's where your census comes in. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. Executive Order 11005 allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis.
And all this going on right now, man.
Executive Order 11310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in executive orders to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislative liaison, to control all aliens, to operate penal and correctional institutions. And Executive Order 11049 assigns emergency preparedness function to federal
Guess that was it. And this already happening. I'm gonna try to find that one video over there in I can't even remember where it was. New Zealand. I think that's what it was. It's gonna be hard to find, bro. Been putting up so many videos. Let me see.
The reason you're seeing this video is we are targeting you and your business for our new cyber liability.
I'd like to begin by outlining the action that we have taken in the aftermath of yesterday's news that 2 New Zealand citizens returning from the UK to visit their dying parent were allowed to leave a managed isolation facility without a COVID test and then subsequently tested positive. This case represents an unacceptable failure of the system. It should never have happened, and it cannot be repeated. I am appointing the Assistant Chief of Defence, Air Commodore Digby Webb, to oversee all quarantine and managed isolation facilities, including the processes.
Now they got concentration camps all over the world. They got quarantine facilities over there in New Zealand, man. You know, basically for those who get the, I ain't gonna keep watching all that. You know, those who get the COVID-19, man, they got those concentration camps for you, man. Or those, whatever they call them. Quarantine facilities, man. Basically a concentration camp, man. And you people in the world holler about you free, man, but these people can snatch you up anytime they feel, man, and put you in a damn a concentration camp, separate you from your wife, from your kids, and all y'all go to different states and all that, man. You know how you just all scattered out, man. You know, in concentration camps, man. You know, if that's the Lord's will. But hey, man, hey, the time coming, you people are finna see that Jacob Trevor is dead serious, man. And this the map in the U.S. of all the different concentration camps. And as you see, man, there's a whole bunch of them over here on the east, man. There's so many of them right up in that area. Whole bunch of different concentration camps. And then they probably got some that we don't even know about, man. You know. But they got a list of the concentration camps, man. And it's the red list, yellow list, blue list thing from FEMA. I'm going to just go straight to the point. It's a red list. These people are the enemies of the New World Order. They are the leaders of patriot groups, outspoken ministers, outspoken talk show hosts, community leaders, and even probably net leaders, net leaders. These people will be dragged out of their homes at 4 a.m. and will be taken to FEMA detention centers and killed. This will take place approximately 2 weeks before martial law is enforced, man. So, how true the last part is, I don't know. As far as this will take place approximately 2 weeks before martial law is enforced. But it makes sense, man. You know, it makes sense for them to come for those who speak out, and and we top on the list, man. You Hebrew Israelites who teach the word, you gonna be tip top on that goddamn red list, man. Before all these other people, I mean, people like the lady Deborah and the other lady and all these other people who bring out the truth against the New World Order. Oh, they on the list too. But you Israelites, you above them because you breaking down the scriptures with it, man. You telling these people, because I teach too, but we telling these people they going head first into captivity, that they New World Order ain't gonna be established, man. But it's gonna be a New World Order, but it's gonna be in righteousness, man, under Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, so you number one on the list, man. You know. It say the blue list. It say these are also enemies of the New World Order, but are followers of the red list folks. So all you people who watch our videos and ain't doing nothing but just watching, then clicked on the video at least one time, you're like, you basically gonna be considered a follower of the red list folks. Like the thing say, it say these people will be rounded up after martial law is in place and will be taken to the detention centers and re-educated. Various mind control techniques will be used on them. So they're gonna be torturing people, man. You know. And then they say mind control techniques in the video. Say they gonna use mind control techniques. Most will not survive this. Mr. Springmeyer is not Mr. Springmeyer was not specific on exactly who was on the blue list, but I would guess that people such as you and I are on that list, you know, and people like me, I know people like me, we gonna be on the red list, man, you know, cause we teach the word, we telling our people to wake up and come out of the ways of this world, man. And putting our faces and everything on the internet. We not hiding a damn thing, man. We telling these people to their face that they going down, man. That they new world order will not be established, man. And we ain't running from trying to not be. I ain't trying to be on the red. No, we on the red list, man. Fuck them. You know, these devils finna go head first into captivity. Matter of fact, let me get a precept. You know, let me get a precept. Like it. This Matthew chapter 10 and verse 28. It say, and fear not them that can kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. So fuck these people, man. Fuck the red list, the yellow list, and your blue list, and your new world order, man. Cause guess what the Lord say? Fear not them which can kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. So you can kill my body. You can do whatever you want to this body, man. You know, but at the end of the day, we can't take these bodies with us in the kingdom any goddamn way, man. The Lord is gonna have a new body. He already has a new body prepared for His elect, man. Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. Also, the brothers and sisters who listen, man, in truth and sincerity, man. You know, the Lord got His bodies prepared, man. So fuck it, man. It is what it is. We know these things are coming down the pipeline, but hey, at the end of the day, and fear not them that can kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear Him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell, man. So you better fear the Lord, man. Cause the Lord gonna do the motherfucker with you, man. Esau can't do nothing but kill your body, man. The Lord can mess you up, man. You know. And that go for you people that follow and listen to us too, man. You know. Alright, I'm going to the yellow list now. The yellow list, these are citizens who know nothing about the New World Order. And these the people who like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. I don't believe in none of that. These type of people. They gonna be considered the yellow list. These are the citizens who know nothing about the New World Order and don't want to know. They are considered to be no threat at all and will be instructed as to how to behave and will most likely do whatever they are told. Unfortunately, there are too many of these to be effectively controlled, so many will be killed or starved, man. And hey man, that's scriptural, man. You know. Hey man, that's scriptural, man. The Lord say these people they gonna have your ass in a concentration camp, and they gonna starve you out, man. Even if you consistent unto them, man. These people ain't finna give a fuck, man. The Lord finna put that regular true spirit on Esau, he finna show his colors, man. His horns, man. You know, he finna show you he don't give a damn. So like this Jeremiah chapter 15 in verse 1, it say, Then said Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go? Then thou shalt tell them, Thus saith Yahweh, such as for death to death, such as for the sword to the sword, such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity, man. You know, the captivity, and this time it's gonna be them concentration camps, man. You know. But it said to the famine to the famine, man. So all you people who don't want to know about the New World Order, don't want to listen to the men of the Lord, and just go what how they say jolly go lucky with the world, and you want America to stick around. These people is finna kill you, stupid people, man. You saddest children of Israel, man. And you Edomites, man. Y'all gonna be on the yellow list too, goddamn, getting fucked over, starved out, man. They don't care, man. You ain't part of that circle, man. You done, man. Your ass is through, you know. But they go to show you, man, even if you consent and you be obedient, you give up all these people, you telling on your folks and turning people in, you still gonna get tried another foot, man. So hey, man, it's best to serve the Lord. At the end of the day, in the times we coming to, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and also those who agree to this word, who are the speckled birds of the Israelites, who look like the other nations. Hey, man, you better wake your ass up and come back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because if you don't, man, death is near approaching you, man. And everybody gotta die someday, but shit, when death hit the door, don't nobody want to die, man. Everybody talk hard while it's all good, but when death is right there in front of you, man, you gonna be pleading and begging and crying, hoping that the Lord deliver you, man. Go in there with your mama. She in the living room. Close the door. Close the door. You know, but when death right there in front of you, man, you gonna be you ain't all that tough guy shit and tough shit gonna go smooth out the door, man. You not gonna want to die, man. Matter of fact, let's go into the another scripture about the famine. I think it's, I really don't know what scripture it is, but let me try one. Matter of fact, I'm just searching. I think it's Lamentation. Ooh, this phone, these phones, like, they read minds, man. This Lamentation, I thought that was where it was at. This Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 9, it say, They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away stricken through the want of the fruit of the field, man. So, hey, man, dying of famine is a torturous, drawn out death, man. Your body just eating away at itself, man. That ain't no easy death, man. So, what they say about the yellow list, they say, unfortunately, these are too many. Unfortunately, there are too many of these to be effectively controlled. So many will be killed or starved, man. So at the end of the day, you Americans, if you ain't a part of the Illuminati, man, and a part of that circle, man, you are unwanted in the new world order, man. At the end of the day, and if you least ye repent, you gonna all likewise perish, man. Like the scripture said, for the famine to the famine, to the captivity to the captivity. Let me read it again. Or did I go off of it? Let me go back to this Jeremiah back at 15:2. It say, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as for death, to death, and such as for the sword, to the sword, and such as for famine, to famine, pining away, man. And such as for the captivity, to the captivity, gas chambers, what they call nuclear furnace or whatever. They got these furnaces and all kind of different ways they gonna be killing you, man. You know, cause they don't need all these people in the new world order, man. You know, they gonna make these people take their chip and they gonna goddamn starve them out, man. This verse 3 is saying, and I will punt over them four kinds, said of Yahweh. The sword to slay, the dog to tear, the fowls of heaven, and the fowls of heaven, and the beast of the earth to devour and destroy. You know, and that's and I will cause them to be removed unto all kingdoms of the earth. You know, that's the point is verse 3. You know, cause that's coming back again, man. You know, cause Jeremiah was in the Babylonian captivity, but this is coming again, man. You know, all these four appointed destructions for these people, man. Um, Let me get Revelation 2:10. It say, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Um, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, man. So hey, if they put your body to death, man, you know, hey, the Lord gonna give you a crown of life, man. You will never die again after this. So that's all that's what we longing for anyway, man. You know, all you gonna do is be resting until the Lord come back and destroy these people, man. You know, and the devil ain't finna come. You know how they a fictional character. The nigga got a red spandex suit on with a tail and a pitchfork and put you in prison, man. It's talking about a man, you know. Verse 11, it say, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcome will shall not be hurt of the second death, man. So if you follow the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you ain't gonna be hurt of the second death, man. You know. So like this Revelation 12:12, it say, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Yeah, all these people who don't want to repent and come back to Yahweh Shem, all the Israelites, first and foremost, you know. Woe to 2/3 of Israel and these heathen. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And the devil is supposed to be already underground, man, in the underworld, man. How he should come up having great wrath, right? Cause he should come from out of the ground having great wrath, not come down. You know, coming down, he gonna come down with force upon those that, upon those that are in the world, man. You know, having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time, man. So he gonna be trying to establish this new world order, man. What is this? FEMA FEMA concentration camps 2020 location. Exclusive executive orders. The road to hell. And this how they gonna be coming, man. I don't know if this video gonna play. I'm just looking at it.
Legal argument for killing American citizens overseas without a trial. But what about targeting
I'm not finna watch all that. Let me see what he finna say.
people on U.S. soil? Can they now kill American citizens inside the country? The head of the FBI, when asked about that on Capitol Hill yesterday, stumbled around on this.
Does that only apply to U.S. citizen that's overseas, or does that apply to U.S. citizen that's here as well?
I'd have to go back. I'm not certain whether that was addressed or not.
So that we have clarity here, he is not certain whether it was addressed, whether our government can kill our own people inside our own country. This really needs to be addressed. We can't just answer this question. No, the government doesn't kill our own people. We have a process for this. It's called the justice system. You file charges, you lock them up, you try them before a jury of their peers, and then that's how they don't kill our own people.
Now to a controversial bill resurfacing in Congress. The FEMA bill allows the government to run at least 6 military installations when a national emergency is declared. These emergency centers would be run by FEMA under the command of the Secretary of Homeland Security. So this legislation is meant to be enacted in the event of an emergency. But what exactly does that mean? What is the definition of emergency, especially when it comes to this legislation? When would it be enacted?
Sure. We have to go back to 1988 to the Stafford Act bill to actually get the definition of emergency. And this covers things like tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, natural disasters. But it also gives the president to declare an emergency to avert a catastrophe, which raises the issue of preemptiveness.
Okay. But this also, this is, the goal here is to mobilize resources to have this plan to prevent a tragedy from happening, but also a reaction to it, right?
Yes, a reaction, and that's where some of the concerns for civil liberties activists comes in, because it's a slippery slope. Once the government has this power and all these centers are set up, and it's at least 6, maybe more, probably more, there is a real potential for the abuse of power here.
Okay, interesting. You know, we have this map that shows how the U.S. would be divided in the event of an emergency, if we can pull that out there. There it is. So this is how
and they're going to in the tent part of the city on fell. You know, I think that's Revelation. I can't even remember. But you know the scripture will say in the tent part of the city fell. They going to these 10 FEMA regions, man. They're gonna be destroyed, man. This bitch is gonna get wiped off the face of the earth, man. Those 10 FEMA regions, they're gonna be turned into deserts.
will be divided into districts. You see 10 of them there. This is according to the National Emergency Center establishment. Can you describe what this map is? What exactly does that mean? I mean, it doesn't really make sense in terms of states as we know them. What is this classification system? What are the purposes?
It doesn't look like the map that you and I saw in elementary school.
Not at all.
Effectively, the U.S. has been cordoned off into these different districts. And so these new emergency centers will be spread out throughout the United States in most of these eventually. And it gives FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security jurisdiction over what goes on in these places during a time of emergency.
Okay, I want to go into because this act does make some specific examples, some exclusions, set some limitations, I should say. So the National Emergency Center Establishment Act, what it does not do, it does not authorize any federal officer or employee to force an individual to enter a national emergency center or prevent an individual from leaving a national emergency center. So, Bob, it looks to me like there are some safeguards there. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Well, I'd like to think so. And this was actually one of the other things that was changed in this new version of the bill. They added this. But if you read what they're saying, you know, federal officer or federal employee, that doesn't cover members of the military. And since
Nah, that's a lot, man, because on that one thing we was just watching, man. It said if you try to escape, you're gonna be put to death, man. Deadly force if somebody try to escape, man. You're gonna kill your ass. You try to get up out of that motherfucker, man.
These are going to be installed in decommissioned and existing military bases. You're going to have people from the military there. So I would think they will have people, namely in the military, who would be able to force people to stay there or prevent them from leaving if that is what they want to do.
Well, we have our big vehicle out here. It's an armored vehicle. It's an MRAP vehicle. It's mine resistant, ambush protected. That's what it stands for. The team commander, which is myself, I'll stand in the MRAP and provide overwatch for the team while they're making entry into the house.
When they make entry into the house, man. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, but the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, man.
We have gun ports in here, so we can actually shoot from within the vehicle. You may think it's pretty loud, but actually it's not too bad. But we do have gun ports there and in the back, and two on the side as well.
There are some people who say, this is another sign that the U.S. government is preparing for some sort of mass civil unrest.
The last time the federal government claimed that it could kill Americans was in the Civil War. And even Lincoln said it could only be done during combat. This federal government, this administration says it can kill Americans when they're riding with their children in a car in a desert.
And the right side of the road was filled with...
I said I wasn't going to watch this, but shit, this is a good video right here.
Which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and
they say them big coffins right there can fit 6 grown people, man. Well, if they ain't too big, fit 6 grown adults, man. So ain't no telling how many babies or little kids gonna fit in one of them motherfuckers,
man. A van pulled alongside of me that turned out to be the property owner, and he greeted me, and he was by himself, and so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that, and his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia, that knew about them. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100 at that time. He said there was 125,000 there. And they were stacked. He told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they were leased.
The CDC, the Center of Disease Control, own FEMA coffins? For what? Oh, man. And you people, okay, y'all just keep bullshit. That's what you do. Keep bullshit.
The land, leasing his land for storage. And he said his brother worked with the CDC in Atlanta and had been asked by the CDC to do a 3-year extension to place temporary morgues all across the nation.
God damn. A lot of them motherfuckers.
of the crisis, because of the dangers that we face in the world, you know, some new and unpredicted threat, we need more authority. We need more
New and unpredicted threat, the COVID-19, the invisible enemy. Ooh.
power, and there will be nothing the people can do at that point to oppose it, and it'll be turnkey tyranny.
The U.S. has been cordoned off into these different districts, and so these new emergency centers will be spread out throughout the United States in most of these eventually. And it gives FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security jurisdiction over what goes on in these places during a time of emergency.
Following the latest volley of attacks on the Syrian regime, and these rumors state that the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad will soon officially declare war on Israel. Now, many are dismissing these reports as strictly rumor. There is also speculation about the nature of this morning's attack, with some insisting that Israel's weaponry was nuclear-like.
Reviewing a film of what appears to be a nuclear weapon being exploded near Damascus. We're doing a confirmation on this. You're watching the explosion now, and we're checking this against the scale of smaller artillery, 155 and 203 millimeter. We also noted the presence of lightning. You're seeing that now, which indicates confirmation. This was a nuclear explosion. There's no question.
You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
And you stupid Jakes, I ain't gonna call you the N-word. You stupid Jakes. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all rally behind this fucking Hamite, man. You know, let's see what this nigga finna say. I don't know. I ain't watched this video yet, but let's see. He say he already said you think this a joke. This nigga dead serious, man. What the fuck? Well, look. I guess he ain't had nothing to say.
See it coming. You think I'm joking?
What is wrong with you? Go back to Kentucky.
So like you had examples of this happening over there in Portland in different areas, man. People getting snatched up. They said the officer tell you follow us, we gonna kill you, man. We gonna shoot shit at your head, man. Snatching people up, man. Did the same thing they just did, man. Now these older, as you can see, these older videos, man. But this finna come on a mass scale, man. All you people out there riding, hollering about Black Lives Matter, and don't even know what Black Lives Matter is for. hey, Black Lives Matter push the agenda of the New World Order.
The fuck is wrong with you? Go back to Kentucky.
And that's that FEMA truck.
Under the rubric of terror, the government has stripped us of our civil liberties.
Obama didn't wake up and say, I want to see all Americans and find out what they're doing. This is something that came from the Defense Department or the Department of Justice.
Well, the Defense Department is not permitted to do anything in the United States of America against American citizens without an executive order from the president, and he can only issue one in time of rebellion or national disaster. That's the federal law. For him to permit the Air Force to spy on us, no matter how noble their goal may be, is a violation of federal law, unless he signed an executive order and we don't know about it, in which case that would be unlawful because the executive orders of this nature have to be public.
And other places. And I think you're going to still see the evolution of DHS unless we stop this monster. That's why we have people like Napolitano telling us that we're going to have DHS briefs at our local Walmart and our local stores at these telescreens to be worried about terrorism and spy on their neighbors. And that's why these memos are leaking again and again and again, because people who are not only in these departments but work with this department are leaking this to the public because they know it's out of control and wrong.
Let's get back to the breaking news right now. The Washington Post and The Guardian reporting the U.S. government is now also tapping directly into the central servers of 9 leading internet companies, including Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, AOL, Skype, YouTube, and Apple. The newspaper has just released new information to back up their reporting. Tom Foreman is here.
And they going into everything, man. You know, I mean, as far as like, what they say, he say tapping into, man, these folks in everything, they goddamn spying on all our ass, man, right now, man. You know. And they gonna move, man. They gonna already know who they gonna have different red list. That hits the word red list, yellow list, and blue list, man. They gonna know who they looking for, man. You know, they gonna know who on this list and who on that list, man. They gonna round your ass up, and they gonna do accordingly, man. Cause they already been spying. They been spying for the longest, man. Oh, you say Facebook, you go on the Facebook, that's gonna be Twitter, that's gonna be all the social media platforms, man. Spying on people, man. And you give them all your information, take pictures of yourself. They don't need a mugshot. They know what your black ass look like because you done put pictures on Facebook and shit, man. And that's for all us, man, who got those different pages and shit. Because I know I do, but I'm just saying, like, that's going to get them a, you know, being in your ignorance, you done that, man. You know, so they already know who the hell you is, man.
Taking a closer look, what's the latest?
This information is really stunning, Wolf, when you consider it. A first-hand experience with these systems and horror at their capabilities is what drove a career intelligence officer to provide PowerPoint slides about PRISM and supporting materials to the Washington Post in order to expose what he believes to be a gross intrusion on privacy. Quote, they quite literally can watch your ideas form as you type. The officer said, now let's look at some of these slides here, Wolf, that were from this presentation because they really are quite surprising. This is the overview slide. You'll notice at the bottom the date there, April 2013, very recent. Now look at what this thing is all about. If you move to the next slide here, you can see that they're talking in here about how communications flow from place to place on systems like Google and Yahoo, that they're apparently, according to this program, monitoring. And now look at the next part here. What is being monitored? This is the part that will most get people's attention. Look at that. There are the companies over there on the left, but what they're allegedly able to look at is email, chats, videos, photos, stored data.
Why you see that YouTube right there? I wish I can zoom this motherfucker in. You see YouTube right there? The fourth one to the bottom? YouTube. YouTube. Keep playing, man.
Video conferencing, all sorts of things that people would have thought were private, that were just on their desktop.
Hold up.
This is what is certainly going to be companies over there on the left, but what they're allegedly able to look at is email, chats, videos, photos.
Now these people, you know, you got your little different chat set up. They know exactly what we talk about in the groups. They go through your pictures, you know. They go through your emails. They go through all of that. They got access to all of that stuff, man. You know, just by you even having a YouTube or Yahoo account or a Google account Skype or any one of those different things they can go through, and everybody got it, man. The only way you can get on Facebook, you got to make a Yahoo or Google. You got to have an email address, man. You know, so they got everybody where they want. Got you where I want you, man. They got you where they want. They got the American citizens where they want them, man. And they been studying the people, man. So like I gotta sneeze. So like I'm gonna just keep playing.
Stored data, video conferencing, all sorts of things.
They say they can go in the stored data.
People would have thought were private, that were just on their desktop. This is what is...
And that's how they gonna know who your mama is, or who your daddy is, or who this person is, who that person is. They gonna be going through all your shit, man. Matter of fact, let me get that. This I start Luke 21:12 say, but before all these they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, hence Jacob's trouble, man. Deliver you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, the concentration camps, being brought before kings and rulers, the governors and Trump and these damn elites and shit. We gonna be brought before some of these people, man. You know, all these elite Edomites. They gonna be asking us, we gonna do? We gonna, hey, the Lord say meditate not on but what you should speak. The Lord gonna give you a mouth in that hour, man. You know, kings and rulers for my name's sakes, and it shall turn unto you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist, man. So we're gonna let the Spirit talk to him, man. We're gonna let you how about Shem Yahushua diverse with these fucking devils, man. When they do, if it happened to you, man. When it happened, man, we gotta meditate on that scripture. Verse 5 say, for I will give you Salaki 16 and say, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, man. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sakes, man. But there shall not a hair of your head perish, man. And your patience possess ye your souls, man. You know, so these are times we coming in, man, and people playing, man. You know, and they gonna know who your kinfolks is, your brother. They gonna know who all these people is. They gonna go, they gonna be going through all your shit, man. They got them, each person who on the red list, they got you melt the fuck out. Like, shit, we gonna go to this person, gonna get this person to trap him up, get his old lady, we gonna snatch his old lady, gonna take his kids, and this and that. Hey, man, these people ain't gonna be bullshitting, man. You know, they finna come in. The devil gonna come down having great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time, man. Hey, it finna go down, man. And the Spirit of the Lord gonna keep you in that day, man.
They're going to put people up in arms to some degree, Wolf, because you look at that, plus look at the data agreements here that they made with these different companies. There are the dates there. If you look side to side, they're a little hard to see. You see at the bottom 2007 up to 2013. That's the timeline of how they entered into this program with all of these companies that virtually all of us rely on all the time. Again, reporting from The Guardian and The Washington Post suggesting that all the coverage today about cell phones looks like the tip of the iceberg. Here's this ultra-secret program called PRISM they're reporting on, which has been allowing the government to look in on the desktops of computer users, if this report is correct, and simply see what we're doing, who we're communicating with, the things we're writing, the video messages we're exchanging, all sorts of things that, again, many, many computer users thought were private.
Apparently, though, authorized by Congress in the Patriot Act, authorized by a judge with these foreign intelligence courts, authorized, obviously, by the President of the United States. We're going to have much more on this coming up. We'll see what's going on, but pretty shocking information.
Damn, you motherfuckers, you Edomites too, man.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii. I've been a systems engineer, systems administrator,
Fucked up, Ed.
Senior advisor for the Central Intelligence Agency, solutions consultant, and a telecommunications information systems officer.
One of the things people are going to be most interested in trying to understand who you are and what you're thinking is there came some point in time when you crossed this line of thinking about being a whistleblower to making the choice to actually become a whistleblower. Walk people through that decision-making process.
When you're in positions of privileged access, like a systems administrator for these sort of intelligence community agencies, you're exposed to a lot more information on a broader scale than the average employee. And because of that, you see things that may be disturbing, but over the course of a normal person's career, you'd only see one or two of these instances. When you see everything, you see them on a more frequent basis. And you recognize that some of these things are actually abuses. And when you talk to people about them, in a place like this where this is the normal state of business, people tend not to take them very seriously and move on from them. But over time, that awareness of wrongdoing sort of builds up, and you feel compelled to talk about it. And the more you talk about it, the more you're ignored, the more you're told it's not a problem, until eventually you realize that these things need to be determined by the public, not by somebody who is simply hired by the government.
Talk a little bit about how the American surveillance state actually functions. Does it target the actions of Americans?
NSA and the intelligence community in general is focused on getting intelligence wherever it can, by any means possible, that it believes on the grounds of sort of a self-certification that they serve the national interest. Originally, we saw that focus very narrowly tailored as foreign intelligence gathered overseas. Now, increasingly, we see that it's happening domestically. And to do that, the NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone. It ingests them by default. It collects them in its system, and it filters them, and it analyzes them, and it measures them, and it stores them for periods of time, simply because that's the easiest, most efficient, and most valuable way to achieve these ends. So while they may be intending to target someone associated with a foreign government or someone that they suspect of terrorism, they're collecting your communications to do so.
Why should people care about surveillance?
Because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded. And the storage capability of these systems increases every year consistently by orders of magnitude, to where it's getting to the point you don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, even by a wrong call. And then they can use the system to go back in time and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with, and attack you on that basis to sort of derive suspicion from an innocent life and paint anyone in the context of a wrongdoer.
Have you given thought to what it is that the U.S. government's response to your conduct is, in terms of what they might say about you, how they might try to depict you, what they might try to do to you?
Yeah, I could be, rendered by the CIA. I could have people come after me, or any of their third-party partners. They work closely with a number of other nations, or they could pay off the triads, or any of their agents or assets. We've got a CIA station just up the road in the consulate here in Hong Kong, and I'm sure they're going to be very busy for the next week. And that's a fear I'll live under for the rest of my life, however long that happens to be. You can't come forward against the world's most powerful intelligence agencies and be completely free from risk, because they're such powerful adversaries that no one can meaningfully oppose them. If they want to get you, they'll get you in time. But at the same time, you have to make a determination about what it is that's important to you. And if living unfreely but comfortably is something you're willing to accept, and I think many of us are, it's the human nature. You can get up every day, you can go to work, you can collect your large paycheck for relatively little work against the public interest, and go to sleep at night after watching your shows. But if you realize that that's the world that you helped create, And it's going to get worse with the next generation and the next generation who extend the capabilities of this sort of architecture of oppression. You realize that you might be willing to accept any risk, and it doesn't matter what the outcome is, so long as the public gets to make their own decisions about how that's applied. The greatest fear that I have regarding the outcome for America of these disclosures is that nothing will change. People will see in the media all of these disclosures. They'll know the lengths that the government is going to grant themselves powers unilaterally to create greater control over American society and global society. But they won't be willing to take the risks necessarily to stand up and fight to change things, to force their representatives to actually take a stand in their interests. And the months ahead, the years ahead, it's only going to get worse until eventually there will be a time where policies will change, because the only thing that restricts the activities of the surveillance state are policy. Even our agreements with other sovereign governments, we consider that to be a stipulation of policy rather than a stipulation of law. And because of that, a new leader will be elected. They'll flip the switch, say that because of the crisis, because of the dangers that we face in the world, you know, some new and unpredicted threat, we need more authority, we need more power, and there will be nothing the people can do at that point to oppose it, and it'll be turnkey tyranny.
See? You know? Hey, and that was what that's going. That's an old video, man. That's going back. All right, that's going back and way in 2013 and shit, man. So imagine 7 years later in 2020, year of prophecy, what they doing, man. You know. I ain't gonna go in all that. Let me get my little precepts and close that. You know this second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 68, it say, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is come over you, and they shall take away certain of you." You know, and you gonna get took to them concentration camp and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. The vaccine, RFID microchip, you know, whatever they got planned for, you know, they new world order, you know. And they that consented unto them shall be in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Yeah, cause if you go with these devils and you do whatever they say, you hearken unto them, you still gonna die, man. Cause you not part of they circle, man. You know, with the new world order, they want to maintain population of 500 million. It's 7, 8, 9 billion people on the earth right now, man. They don't need no regular Negro, man, or Latino or Native American, man. They don't need no Joe Sixpack Edomite, man. They don't need you Americans at all, man. You know? And they that consented so like verse 7 is say, "For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection, a great uprising upon those that fear the Lord. And they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods that go into all them executive orders, man. You got food stocked up, all this different stuff. Now, I ain't saying it's going to happen to everybody, but it's going to happen, man, on a large scale, man. They're going to waste and take away your goods and cast them out of their houses. And what that dude said, I'm going to be up here on the top while they go into the house being a lookout of some sort, you know. And cast them out of their houses. Then shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. You know, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same, man. Like the scriptures say, man. When the enemy shall come in like the flood, the Spirit of the Lord gonna lift up a standard against them, man. You know. That's what's coming for us, man. You know, and like the scriptures say, Romans 15:4, for whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Now, you know, and that's the point, man. You know, so whatever was written aforetime was written for our learning, man. You know, you got precepts on how the different apostles and John the Baptist was cast into prison and beheaded, man. You know, and they got all these guillotines. Matter of fact, you know, America ordered all those guillotines. Let me see if they pop up. Kill. I don't know how to spell, so like guillotine. And these was ordered by your beloved Obama. And it was 30,000. It say could you please ask Congressman Richard Hanna why legislators authorized the purchase of 30,000 guillotines which are being stored in key states across the country in those damn concentration camps, man. I really feel it is my duty to dig into store like these, no matter how odd they might seem. So before confronting the congressman, I did some investigating. It turned out this is the story that isn't true. This is a story that isn't true, and it has been circulating for quite some time. Currently, it's being spreaded through social media via the internet by anti-Muslim publication, which refers to concentration camps. But this a goddamn lie. This some bullshit. That shit true. You know, and once they always they say it was a conspiracy. When they say something is a conspiracy theory, that shit be a fucking lie, man. You know, that shit be the truth, man. See how they got it false, rating false. Okay, we gonna see, goddamn, and this how we know it's true, man. You know. You know, you can think it ain't true. You ain't gotta believe, man. Why the fuck do FEMA, if the guillotine part falls, why the fuck do they got FEMA coffins and shit? You know? Why do they got cages, FEMA cages? Let's go try to find it. FEMA cages. You know?
Down here in the bottom.
It does.
Yes, sir, it does.
That's them same FEMA cages they had to lay out of them damn cages. That's them right there.
They have fucking toilets or toilets in them.
Think it's a game.
Holy shit, dude. Those are for people.
Yeah, those are for people.
They grab toilets.
How many are there, bro?
I don't know.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death.
Yeah.
How many are there, bro?
I don't know.
We are going to become gods. Period.
And that's the spirit, man, because I was just gonna go look for this. But let's go back to this video and go look at the layout, man.
In this video, we're going to examine the leaked U.S. military document FM3-39.40. I'm going to take a look at this one right here. This diagram shows...
Don't that look like the little FEMA things, man? You know, about the little boxes, the little 4 boxes, man. Those them same cages that them dudes was just looking at, man. You know. But I'm finna close out, man. I've been going for a long time. You know, these people playing and shit, man. Ain't nothing funny, and we know this to be true, man.
Me becoming God.
Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desires. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his good. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
You know. But let me get my last precept. They saying the guillotine fake. Okay, if it's so fake, the scriptures say this. This Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. It's saying, I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, say Jesus, but we know who the world ignorantly called Jesus. We know it's Yahushua. And for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, and his image going to the New World Order, the vaccines and the chip and all that shit, man. Neither have received upon his neither received his mark upon their foreheads or their right hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. You know, but the scriptures say, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. And so we know these guillotines real, man. And say they ain't real, they gonna cut our head or try to cut our heads off some kind of way, man. For not worshiping the image of the mark, man. They gonna try to put us to death, man. You know? And these things are gonna happen, man. So, hey, you people better wake up and smell the motherfucking coffin, man. It's too much information out there for you to still be a damn dummy in 2020, man. You know? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I know it got pretty long. I wasn't expecting to watch that video, but Lord willing, it was edifying. And to the elect, man. I mean, first of all, I want to get all honor and glory once again to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakadash, and double honors to apostles and elders. Rule well being the great example to the younger brothers in the truth once again. And to the elect, man, you know, stay strong and remain patient, man. You know, and wait ye upon the Lord, and we gonna be out of here soon, man. You know, all the signs are pointing to deliverance for the elect, man. You know, in the kingdom of heaven, man. All these things that happen, we that much close to the kingdom, man. So with that, man, Shalom, Kwam Yashal and the Bible. Shalom.